Well, finally got the bed on. It actually went on pretty smoothly. Tell how crappy those doors look, though. Gonna need a little attention, but yeah, actually went on pretty good. I used that comforter there to kind of make it like a protection, obviously like a buffer, keep from scratching the back of the cab or anything. But all in all, it went pretty smooth. It lined up pretty easy. Definitely had luck on that one. So I got all 8 bolts in. They are torqued to 80 foot-pounds. Says the factory service manual that I have. I'm not using the factory hitch. I have I think it's a draw tight one. It has the bracketry for the bumper built into it because the one that's on there has obviously holds the bumper as well. Now you can see in here, but these are the brackets for the bumper, and then the other one there as well. So let's say the new one takes the place of that. It's a 2.5-inch receiver, and it doesn't bolt on like that. The factory hitch actually bolts onto the frame first, and the bed goes on top of it. This you have to remove it, which can kind of be a pain, I guess, because you have to actually remove the bed to remove the hitch to put the that one on, the class 5 one on that I have. I got another one that just bolts right to the bottom too, which I guess I could use that one also, but I like the other one a little bit better because I don't really like the one that just bolts to the bottom. This one actually uses the factory holes and bolts to the sides and then to the bottom as well, so it hangs right off the same point. But anyway, so that's in. Now I can start doing other stuff. I'm about ready to have it running again. I just need to put the fuel pump in. So I got a fast fuel pump for this. It's just 100 gallon per minute or whatever it is, 100 gallon per hour pump. Just a regular kind of pump, I guess. It's got the 2 filters. It hangs down back here. Because this one had the pump on the filter housing, which is kind of prone to failure, and then they upgraded them to the in-tank pumps, and then I had a hard time finding the in-tank sender because I got the filter break on mine, so I ended up getting a fast pump. It hangs off of the bottom of the bed mount bolt there up in the front, so I mean, I guess I could have put it on and then removed the bolt and kind of hung it there when I put the bed on, but it just, I don't know, I ended up, like I say, put the bed on and then we can put that on like you're supposed to. And problem is this thing's so heavy. Once you get it out, it's kind of really heavy to push back in, and it is uphill that way. So yeah, I want to get the pump in and put like $1 million worth of fuel in there, so get it running. So I'm back on it again. I almost got this thing ready to start again, or ready to run again. Got some batteries. Had to do a little well, terminal surgery, I guess. I don't know, I had to put some new ends on this. I pretty much, the end was kind of all crappy, so I cut the cables off and I just crimped new ends on there and got this military style terminal. I came with 4 of them. I'm gonna try to see if I can save some of these. The negative one on the other side isn't really too bad. I might be able to save that one. This one I might have to change just because the fuel pump is going to bolt onto these, and to try to, I guess I could I'd clean it up and put the terminal underneath this bolt here. I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to keep it with the other one, so I might just, I say, cut this off. I'm just having a little difficulty finding terminals for these 2 negative wires here that have a 3/8 opening for this size there, but I don't know, I'll figure it out. So I'm installing this fast fuel pump now. that I got. It is the Titanium series. Apparently it's the best of their best. I don't know. That's what they're telling me though. So I only got the 100 gallon per hour one instead of the 165 because one, I'm not gonna go with higher horsepower, at least not at first, and I don't think I'm gonna go and do anything crazy even if I do. But I guess this will support 600 horsepower, and then 165 will do like 600 to 900. So I'm not gonna go 600, so I don't really have to worry about it. But anyway, so I got this. Comes with a couple of filters, new pump and everything, and the installation kit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fitting off of the CP3 pump, which is, get my light here, right there on top, that guy right there. I'm going to take that off, and we're going to install a regular style fitting, or an AN O-ring boss fitting, it looks like. It's got an O-ring on there. It's like a -8. So we're going to install this on and torque it to 18 foot-pounds, and then this goes in the hose, and that connects on and goes to the pump. I already got it unhooked from the filter because I removed the filter, obviously. Did I delete of the filter housing? So you got the little kind of fleece delete thing there. Well, actually I don't have the liner in, so you can see the return adapter. So I got that on because this thing has filters on it. You don't need to have another filter on there. Put a little lubricant on that O-ring. It's got like this little spacer in there, probably keep it from crushing all the way down. I'll put that in. So that fitting is 19 millimeters, or 3/4 probably. Tight. So I'm gonna run this down along the frame. Let's try to get the fitting in. See if I can push it in there without any oil or anything. They say to put oil on there, but I don't really want to put oil. I mean, I know diesel's going to be in it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they say to put oil on there. Went in pretty easy. There's that. So this goes in the end of that fitting, and then we'll run it along the frame. Oh, that'd be nice. Look at that. This came, what was this on? I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was on the end of the fitting. I'll just use that to kind of plug off the hole. Keep stuff from getting in there. Nice little plug. So I got this pump out. I put the fittings in. That guy and that guy. Say to torque it to 20 foot-pounds, but I mean that thing was only in there like one or two threads at 20 foot-pounds. So I went a little bit more because it just didn't seem right being out so far. And then I made sure that the draw straw was clean. I think I used some brake cleaner and I sprayed it in there and to flush out whatever might be in the draw straw, because once it goes up that straw, it's right to the injectors. And there's no, actually not the injectors, it's right to the CP3 pump, because there's no filter in there anymore except for these guys. So I put this on just to keep anything from getting in there. I'll put the second one on later. So with that pump, you got suction from the tank, a return line out of the pump for excess pressure, and then you've got the line that runs to the front. So they have you mount the bracket. It's a two-piece bracket. I mounted the one piece, the up and down piece, to the bolt on the bed there, and I mounted the other one. They say they have you both pump to this bracket and kind of orient it where you want it to be, and this is about kind of where I'm gonna have it. I mean, I'd like to have it actually slid forward So all the weight is actually like just hanging straight on this instead of like this where it might start tipping down. But I think it'll be all right, because I had to slide it back because the return has to go into the filler tube there, and it's such a hard bend. Generally they have you mount it on this bolt back here, but it ends up hanging like right here in front of the spring, like like right by the tires, and I don't really like that. So I put it up to the front one, so there will be a little bit more suction hose to it, but I mean, it's only going to be like a foot. We'll see how it goes. I just didn't want it right like next to the tire. I know basically all the short beds are like that, but this being a long bed, I got an extra bolt. So I got that. I ran the hose, kind of zip tied it to the frame there. I'll have this go into it. It came with a quick connect for the light. It came with a quick connect for the tank, so I just plugged the other end into the tank. So I got the slack hanging down here, and I'll trim it to where I think it's good. I'll probably mount that to the bottom of the bed there. There's a hole. I'll get one of those clips and mount it there, and then we'll just that way it's not kind of hanging down on the brackets and stuff. And then that'll mount there, come right into the back of the pump, and then I'll have that little bit of extra that'll come out. So because I got it farther forward, I got this here to try to get that into there, so it comes out the front. It's going to come out the front and have to come around into that. So I might go get a 90, so it'll come out of the pump with like a sweep 90, and then it'll put me like back here behind this. So I'll just kind of 90 over and then curl around and up in there. I might even be able to come straight out and just kind of do a loop-de-loo in there. We'll see how it goes, but that's kind of where I'm right now. So like I said, I cut that filler to put that in there. They actually give you pretty good clamps. They got the protector on there so you don't kind of cut through the hose. It protects the little holes there, but the ones they give you for the little line here don't have that protector on there. So I don't know if they ran out or if it's just doesn't matter or what the deal is, but that's it. So basically when they have you mount this, they just tell you torque the bolt. They don't really specify, so I torqued it to the 80 foot-pounds of bolt the bed gets torqued to. There is a rubber gasket that goes in there, and just like there's another rubber gasket that goes in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, you can see there's one in there. So it's actually a pretty thick one there. It's squished down pretty good, but I'd rather have it tight than loose and then kind of wiggling on there, wearing the paint off and stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna tighten these, and then I'm gonna bolt the pump on just so I can get my hoses run. I'll have to take the pump back off. They want you to pump WD-40 into the inlet to lubricate the gearator pump, the gearator of the pump. So you gotta squirt it up in there to lubricate the pump, but obviously you gotta flip it upside down. If I do that before I pump fuel through it, then it's just gonna dry out. So I'll probably have to take that back off and do that later. Yeah, so once you get those brackets mounted, they have you use these spacers to space off the brackets with these bolts going through into the back of this pump. So you get the 3 bolts that go through these spacers. That's about that. And then after that, I gotta just kind of run the harness, and then it should be good. All right, so I took this back off so we can do what we gotta do with the filters. I ended up putting a little bit of the Silglide silicone grease on there because I put oil on this one, and I just spun it like barely hand tight because I knew I had to take it off, and it got stuck on there to the point where I could not get it off by hand. I had to use a filter wrench to get that off, and yeah, it was on there. But anyway, so I'm going to take some of this liquid wrench lubricating oil, and I'm going to spray it up in here to lubricate the gears in there, or the gear pump. So I'll flip it up on top when I do it, and then we'll tighten up this filter because we should be done with that. I'll put this back in. I did put some never sees on the 3 bolts that hold this because, one, this is aluminum and those are steel bolts. So obviously steel into aluminum can corrode. I know it's anodized, but I did it just to be safe. So obviously that's lubricating the bolt, so you can't go super tight with it because it will force in there even tighter because it's lubricated. So your torque value would be lower. Not that they give a torque value for it, so I'm just going to kind of tighten it up without going crazy. So once we get all the lines connected, we got to supply power to the pump and jump the relay. And they say to have the tank full when you do it to reduce noise and difficulty priming. They also, while you're trying to prime it, they say to loosen up this second filter by to purge the air out a bit. And once you hear the pump noise change, so it's probably going to be whining, and then you'll hear the pump change as the fluid starts getting into the pump. Then you're going to tighten this up, and that's what they suggest, or I guess that's what their priming process is. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll come back as I'm putting it in. These fittings are 7/8. So let's go hook this up to the battery, get it going. I kind of got that snug tight. I don't want it to be just ripping when I come back here. So we should be pumping. I guess we're pumping, so it should be going through. Let that pump a little bit to try to purge some of the air and stuff out. I got the chime on in there because I got the door unhooked on the side still. I gotta hook that up, and then maybe the rear door. I wonder if I left the key in it too, because that's kind of weird that it's doing that. Anyway, so this is how I got it hooked up. I mean, obviously I got that wired up. I'm just jumping that. This has got to get hooked to some type of power. It's supposed to be hooked to ignition power, so I'm either going to hook it to ignition power in the relay box like they said, or I'm going to go to the pump plug and hook it right to that with one of those douche connectors or whatever it is. And then I don't have to wire it into the box here. I can just use the actual factory fuel pump turn on thing. But say, I don't know, I might probably just go into this. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but at least the pump's kind of quiet. I was afraid it was gonna be screamer. They say it's whisper quiet, but oh, did I turn the thing upside down? Oh, you got a drip. Tighten that up. So I got the fluids and everything filled up. It's probably time to see if this starts again. I got the chime going off inside. I don't know why. Something's probably unhooked, but it's going off like the lights are on. So, but the lights aren't on. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the seat belts hooked up in there, so that could be a problem. The only other issue I could think of is the truck harness in the cab is the one that was originally in the cab that went under the floor and everything and up into the doors, and possibly it's not correct for what it is. It's an 03 and it's an 03, but I don't know, there was one wire that went someplace that I don't know where it went, but it wasn't in the harness. It was like an extra wire that wasn't in the original harness, but I don't know. I have to figure it out. Let me hook this up. Hopefully this is the correct brake fluid level switch or sensor, because that was actually really difficult to find. But we'll give it a start. that actually started up really fast. I did start it before I put the camera on, but basically it turned over just as much. I mean, it might have turned over once or twice and then it was running. So, man, that's pretty good. I gotta make sure I purge all the air out of the steering system, or the power steering system. And yeah, the dinging inside was the interior lights. The little thumb dial for the cargo light and stuff was flipped up to on. And I got to imagine it probably doesn't detect the key is out, or maybe it thinks it's not out. I don't know. Maybe the ignition's messed up too. Everything else has been messed up, so everything else I guess should be messed up. But maybe it just goes on when you turn the interior light on. It's not running, but that's what the dinging was. The cargo light was on. So, yep. So we got it running again. I mean, it'll be a lot easier now to move this in and out. Trying to get this back in the last time was very difficult. I mean, I tried to push it a little bit with this and one of these blocks here, put it right on the frame, but I mean, you're kind of playing with fire. If you slip, I'm going to be crunching some stuff I don't want to replace. So I mean, I pushed it a little bit, and then the block started to like kind of, I wouldn't say split, but you can see the impression where it was kind of digging in there. So I was like, I'm going to stop. So I ended up like putting a bar in the spoke of the wheel against the hub and just kind of turning the wheel with that. But like I say, I got it in there. So at least now it runs. I can drive it in and out. I still have to put the seats in there. The interior is not in. So now that I can move it easily, I will drive it out, clean the inside, put the seats in, and then basically almost done. I just got to finish adjusting the doors up so I can finish putting the interior back together, because I had to retake some of the panels off because of the rear doors. There's a bolt that comes through from the inside, and I didn't want to keep snapping it in and out and in and out and in and out and then end up breaking something. So I just kind of popped them apart and left it that way, at least for a little bit. I need an alternator cable. They replaced it with this guy here, which is just a regular wire. I believe that has a fusible link in it, so I gotta buy that. I don't want to run it obviously too much because I'm literally running it off the batteries. I'm not using the alternator yet, but I could probably hook that wire up for now, see how it goes. Well, I guess that's that for now.